Hey, Grace House Churches. Hopefully you have enjoyed dinner and now you're ready for a conversation in Ephesians chapter 1. So after the intro where Paul talks about who he is, what's going on in the city of Ephesus, and who we are as holy ones, he breaks into a 202 word long Greek sentence where he uses 19 commas and all of this like explosion, fire hose of just excitement about the gospel. And so we jokingly said it was like a kid at Disneyland just trying to say all the stuff that he's excited about. And in the process, he shares like these three movements about what God has done for us in the gospel. And so the first thing he says is that in the gospel, it's the good news, that God has chosen us and predestined us for adoption. So that's the exciting start to this, that your salvation was pre-planned, that God had a strategy to move towards you even before you were born, before there was mountains and oceans and anything that was created. God had a plan to move towards you. And so we looked at this word proizo in the New Testament. It's used 6 times, and it means predestined, to be predetermined. And so we just took a moment to talk about this word and the church history surrounding the word and how Calvinism and Arminianism kind of debated what this word means. And my hope was that we could enter the space humbly and recognize there are two things that are true, that God is sovereign and humans are responsible, that God is in control and we also have agency and have to move and respond to the gospel. And so the adoption picture is showing us that you weren't born into this family, you were brought into this family. And God did that through a pre-plan. And so as you guys talk through that portion of the sermon, I hope you'll be kind to each other, and I hope you'll recognize that neither of these are like outside of bounds of Christianity, and neither of these are gospel issues. They're just trying to process like, what does it mean to be saved, and what's our role and what's God's role. And I think what we all have to agree on is that if you're listening to this and you love Jesus, it's because he loved you first. And if you follow God, it's because God pursued you and awakened your heart to the gospel. But you did have to respond as well. So that's point number 1. That was like a big part of the sermon. And then point number 2 was that you were, in the Gospels, the good news, that you were redeemed by the Son. Redemption is like marketplace language, that there was a price put on something and there was a value ascribed here that was able to redeem this thing and buy it back. And so I talked about the patron's gift card, that you could take it to the coffee shop and redeem it for a free coffee, but they wouldn't receive counterfeits, and you couldn't just stand before patrons, or you couldn't stand before God and say, I would like to redeem this coffee because I'm a good person, or because I go to church, or because I'm from this family. That the only thing that could redeem you and I was the blood of Christ. That he offered a payment that had within itself the value capable of redeeming you and I in the world. And then the text moves on and says the good news, the gospel is the good news that you are sealed by the Spirit. Now, sealed means protected and covered. It's a picture of ownership, that the Spirit inside of you is a guarantee, a deposit, it's earnest money. That God is not non-committal towards you. He's not like Facebook Marketplace or some bro who just wants to take you to coffee and not actually commit. He's different than that. The Spirit inside of you is a seal. It's a promise of ownership. It's a promise of a guarantee. And that this process of God planning your adoption, the Son purchasing your adoption, and the Spirit sealing your adoption is what just overjoys Paul. It leads him to complete worship. And so for us as a church, we said, may this picture of the gospel lead you to worship. It should provide a few things for you. The gospel should offer you security, that you didn't do it, God did it. That secures you. It should offer you humility, that you should be humble by this, and it should stir you into worship. And so that's what I hope happens as you converse about this and as you think about it, that your thoughts about God would lead to praise, that your doctrine would lead to delight, that your theology would lead to doxology, and that all of that would move us towards God in worship.